So it's my birthday, which means I've officially survived another year of capitalism, intermittent back pain, and crying at random dogs I see on the telly. I'm 1 year older, marginally more bitter, and emotionally committed to cereal for dinner. Not because I'm quirky, but because my oven is currently storing 5 mismatched pans, 1 broken toaster, and the deep, echoing sound of my own regrets. Anyway, the day begins like most of my birthdays do, with an existential sigh and the distant hope that maybe, just maybe, someone will remember I exist outside the family WhatsApp group where I'm mostly tagged for admin-related nonsense like, who's bringing the folding chairs? Then, shocker of the year, my dad remembers. My dad, the man who once called me Lydia for an entire Christmas, because he couldn't keep his children's names straight, that one. He sends me a parcel. Not a text, not a card with a $5 folded into it like I'm 12. An actual parcel. From the Royal Mail, no less. Which, in this economy, is basically a public declaration of love. So I open it, bracing myself for something deeply uninspired. Socks. Or worse. One of those motivational mugs that says, live, laugh, love in a font that makes you want to walk into the sea. But no, it's a box of gourmet chocolates. And not just the cheap stuff you find near the till at Poundland. No, we're talking the artisan kind. Fancy script on the label? Mysterious French words like ganache and infusion. You don't eat these. You experience them. You ponder their existence while sipping a 9 bottle of red and questioning every decision that led to this exact moment in your life. They've got layers, these chocolates. Emotionally and structurally. One of them probably costs more than my entire weekly shop at Lidl. This is the sort of chocolate that comes with tasting notes and a warning label about storage away from direct sunlight and emotional damage. I hold the box like it's sacred, like I've just been handed the crown jewels by the Queen herself, God rest. And for a second, a brief, fleeting second, I feel seen. Not fully understood, of course. That would require therapy and a personality transplant. But seen, a moment of connection. An olive branch dipped in cocoa butter and wrapped in foil. But because I'm me, a walking emotional pothole, I immediately think, well, I can't possibly keep these. Because obviously, the rational thing to do when handed a rare and thoughtful gift is to immediately offload it to someone else. Specifically, my younger brother and his 3-year-old, who still eats Wotsits like he's been personally wronged by fruit. I know, but my inner martyr kicked in. That desperate, ingrained British instinct to sacrifice personal joy in the name of politeness and not making a fuss. So instead of having a quiet moment of indulgence on the sofa with a chocolate that probably has its own backstory and astrological sign, I handed the whole box over to my brother. Like some kind of emotionally constipated Santa Claus, delivering joy while silently screaming inside. He looked confused. The kid was delighted. I was, well, hollow, like an empty quality street tin at a Nan's house in February. And just like that, my dad's big moment of affection, gone, regifted, repackaged, emotionally torched. But don't worry, it gets worse. And yes, you already know where this is going. Now, let's just get one thing straight. I could have eaten the chocolates. That was an option. That was the option. A completely valid, rational, deeply human choice. I could have sat in bed that night, duvet pulled up like a sad little cocoon, watching Come Dine With Me, reruns and shoveling truffles into my face like some sort of depressed monarch. I could have ugly cried over a salted caramel swirl and called it self-care. I deserved that. Did I do it? Obviously not, because this is Britain, and nothing good is ever simple. Instead of just enjoying the gift, I let guilt waltz in uninvited, kick its muddy boots off in my psyche, and start redecorating. You know the type. That specifically British, soul-crushing flavor of guilt. The one that whispers, well, yes, it's your birthday, but is it really fair to have nice things when your brother's barely slept in 3 years and eats toast standing up? Brilliant. I love that for me. And just like that, I became possessed by the ghost of Saint Passive Aggression. Thought, oh, go on then, be the good one. The selfless sibling. The thoughtful auntie who puts others first while quietly dying inside and probably developing a stress-based dairy intolerance. Let's not lie. I was in a full-on delusion spiral, telling myself it was generous, noble even, a gesture of love, as if not eating chocolate counts as emotional maturity, as if handing over a box of handcrafted pralines is going to magically undo the fact that I once told my brother his newborn looked like a raw potato in a bonnet. So I wrapped them back up. and not even angrily, which makes it worse. No, fine. Take them, flounce. No performance. Just this grim, dutiful handover like I was transferring organs. I show up at his flat. Toddlers watching Peppa Pig, on volume that could legally qualify as assault. My brother's half-dressed, holding a Calpol syringe like it's a fine art tool. And there I am, standing in the hallway like some broken Deliveroo driver of emotional baggage and high-end confectionery. Here, I say. What's this, he asks. Birthday chocolates, I mutter. From who? Dad, but it's your birthday. Yeah, well, I thought you and the gremlin might like them. I smile. That weird, haunted smile people give right before they commit arson. He looks confused, like he's trying to do the maths. I just walk away before I get roped into babysitting or, worse, conversation. I tell myself I did the right thing. That sharing is caring. That joy shared is joy doubled. You know, all those wholesome Instagram lies that middle-class mums put in Canva graphics. But as I shut the front door behind me, I realize something. I have made a mistake. A catastrophic, self-inflicted, galaxy-brained mistake. Not only have I given away my birthday gift, I've done it willingly. Sober, on purpose, and with a straight face. At that moment, I don't feel kind or generous. I feel hollow. Like I've just sold my soul for a gold star I'll never get. The chocolates are gone, the moment is gone, and the only thing I've successfully gifted is my own silent resentment. But hey, I'm the good one now, right? Right? It's alright. So it's the next day. The next day. Barely 24 hours since I played Saint, Charity of Sweets, and handed off my own birthday chocolates like I was running a bloody food bank out of guilt and unresolved childhood issues. I'm sat in my dressing gown, working from home, which in my case means refreshing. The same 3 tabs while slowly becoming one with the sofa. There's a half-drunk cup of tea next to me that tastes faintly of despair, and I've been contemplating whether I can justify toast as lunch again. And then my phone rings. Rings? Not a text. Not a voice note. An actual, bloody call. Now, my dad is not a calls-for-fun kind of man. He's more of a once-a-month stiff upper lip. How's work then? Still got that one eyebrow, have you? Kind of dad. So when he rings out of the blue, it's suspicious. Like MI5 suspicious. I answer with that nervous tone. You get when you're not sure if someone's died or just forgotten. Your middle name again. And with peak, undiluted dad energy, he goes, So, how are the chocolates? You ever hear a sentence and immediately know you're about to emotionally detonate? Like, my brain went full DEFCON 1. Every neuron just stopped what it was doing and went, oh no. Because I'd forgotten he might want a review. I'd forgotten this wasn't just a guilt-cleansing item transfer. This was a gesture. A rare, thoughtful, possibly once a decade, gesture from a man who thinks emotions are something you wipe off your sleeve after hugging. And here I am, sat in my dressing gown of shame, having to admit that I, the birthday girl, did not eat the gift. No, I donated it. Like a knob. Now I could have lied. Could have faked a review, said they were divine, or velvety, or had notes of bourgeois self-worth. But no, because I'm honest to a fault and stupid to the point of art, I went, oh, I gave them to Jack and the little one. Silence. The kind of silence you can physically feel through the phone. Like the air got thick with disappointment and unspoken family trauma. Then, you what? Not even angry yet, just confused. Like he's trying to do the emotional algebra and it's not adding up. He sent me chocolates. I gave them away. Where's the logic? Spoiler, there is none. So I repeat myself. Stupidly. As if somehow it'll sound more reasonable the second time. Yeah, I just thought they might enjoy them, you know? I didn't want to be greedy. And that's when it happens. He explodes. Like full dad mode activated. No warm-up, no buffering, just straight into, are you bloody kidding me? I freeze. Not metaphorically. Not emotionally. Physically. Like a sim when you delete all the doors and it doesn't know what to do. Suddenly I'm 9 years old again. Caught trying to microwave cereal, and dad's looming in the doorway holding a Sky remote and a question about life. Choices. I got you those as a treat. You don't give away a birthday gift. That's not how gifts work. What, you think I send Jack presents now, do I? Am I Santa Claus? And I'm just sat there, blinking into the void, phone pressed to my ear, soul rapidly vacating my body, trying to form a sentence. Any sentence. All I can manage is, I thought it was a nice thing to do. Which sounds even worse when you say it out loud. Like I've misunderstood the entire point of being a human being. And the worst part? He's right. He's so annoyingly right. I tried to do the good, selfless, virtuous thing. And instead, I've just insulted the only real birthday effort anyone's made since 2017. I've somehow managed to offend the man who once gifted me a B&Q voucher and still expected a thank you note. At this point, we're both just sat there. Him fuming, me spiraling, and the chocolates long gone. Probably smeared all over a toddler's face while he lobs a plastic dinosaur at the wall and calls it sharing. And that, ladies and gents, is the moment the birthday completely unraveled. No cake, no celebration. Just a passive-aggressive phone call, a box of misplaced luxury, and the sudden, horrifying realization that I might in fact be the problem. So there I am, still on the phone with my dad, who, for the record, now sounds like he's gripping the receiver with the force of someone trying not to scream in a Tesco Express. And me? I'm sat in my pants in a hoodie that smells faintly of regret, absolutely internally combusting, because now I've said it. The words are out there. I've told the truth. I've chosen honesty, like a complete muppet. I could have lied. Should have even. Could have painted the picture. Oh, they were divine. Dad. I ate them in the bath with a glass of red like some sort of relaxed, well-adjusted adult woman. It was all very Nigella. Very I light candles for myself because I'm worth it. But no, instead of conjuring up that wildly inaccurate fantasy, I just told him, straight up. Casual as you like. Oh, I gave them to my younger brother and his kid. Just said it, like I donated a pair of novelty socks or handed off a voucher for a car wash. Not a 40 gourmet truffle selection, flown in from somewhere, unnecessarily exotic, probably hand-rolled by monks in silk gloves while chanting affirmations. Not the kind of chocolate that comes with tasting notes and a bloody origin story. The kind that arrives in a box so fancy, it practically whispers, "You don't deserve this," when you open it. And I just gave it away, like a lunatic, like some sugar fairy of self-sabotage. And Dad? Oh, his silence was deafening. You could hear the air leave his lungs, like I'd just told him I'd sold the family dog for crisps. Then comes the classic dad response. That low, simmering tone that somehow implies both disappointment and an existential crisis. You did what? Suddenly, my living room feels like a courtroom and I'm the defendant in a trial for crimes against basic gratitude. And you know what? Fair play, because who, on their birthday, receives an actual thoughtful gift from their emotionally constipated father? And then gives it away? Me, apparently, I'm her. And I get it. I do. This wasn't just chocolate. This was a rare, awkward, deeply British attempt at affection. This was my dad, the man who still calls texts a bit much in trying to say, "I love you," the only way he knows how, with cocoa solids and tracking numbers. And what do I do with that tender, sugary olive branch? I chuck it straight into the arms of my brother, who, may I remind you, once gave me a used copy of Call of Duty for Christmas, and I don't even own a console. The sheer injustice of it. Dad's probably sat there imagining me smirking as I yeeted his thoughtful gesture across the sibling divide like some chocolate-based Hunger Games peace offering. And me? I'm now in full internal meltdown, brain doing that fun thing where it replays all your worst decisions, like a personal greatest hits album. Track 1, saying it out loud like a gormless saint. Track 2, buying everyone else a pint, but crying over my bank balance. Track 3, responding to emotional intimacy with jokes about bin day. Honestly, I should have just said the box got lost in the post, or eaten by a fox, or set on fire in a tragic scented candle accident. Anything but the truth. But no, I had to be noble, selfless, morally upright in a way that no one asked for, and everyone resents. And now I'm sat here with 0 chocolates, a disappointed father, and the crushing realization that I might actually be addicted to ruining nice things for myself, right? So I've just casually informed my dad that his posh birthday gift, his rare display of affection, delicately expressed through 40 worth of cocoa and emotional repression, was immediately redistributed like, I'm the bloody UN of chocolate diplomacy. And then, silence. Not polite silence. Not the, oh, I'm just processing this maturely kind. No, this was the calm before the storm kind. You could hear it. That sharp inhale. Like a man physically preparing to explode, while trying not to knock over the novelty mug on his desk. Then a detonation. Dad edition. Are you bloody kidding me? And he says it with the full vocal intensity of someone who's just discovered you've sold the family dog on eBay. Twice. With a free trial of Amazon Prime and a note that says, Cheers X. It wasn't just a question. It was a full-blown existential accusation. the verbal equivalent of hurling a teacup across the room, but emotionally and with passive-aggressive undertones. I could practically hear his blood pressure spike, could probably taste the disappointment through the phone. It had a strong aftertaste of, why do I even bother? With subtle notes of, you're exactly like your mother. And I just sat there, phone to my ear, brain screaming, face doing that thing where it tries to smile, even though your soul has packed its bags and left via the cat flap. And the thing is, I get it. This wasn't just about chocolates. Oh no, this was about the gesture. The effort. The fact that my dad, who once gave me a birthday card signed, "Cheers, Paul," his own name John, actually tried this year. And me? I turned around and gave his grand, truffle-stuffed attempt at love to my brother, the golden boy, the walking, at least he's got a proper job trophy. I might as well have slapped my dad in the face with a Terry's chocolate orange and shouted, "Try harder, Daddy." And the worst bit? He wasn't even angry in that shouty, satisfying way. No, he was doing the British dad disappointed voice TM. You know the one, the quiet rage, the drawn-out syllables, the tone that suggests he's not mad, just reconsidering whether you were ever a good investment. And honestly, I started doubting myself. Like maybe I am a nightmare. Maybe I am the sort of person who'd burn down a library and blame the Dewey Decimal System. Maybe I deserve dry, dusty supermarket chocolate from now on. The kind that comes in a multi-pack with a guilt trip. At this point, I'm physically sweating. Not because it's hot, because shame burns hotter than the bloody sun. Meanwhile, my dad's still going. Now he's launching into this weird, passive rant about people not appreciating things anymore, and how some people would kill for a box of chocolates like that. Which, I mean, yes, okay, he's right. But also I didn't murder the chocolates. I just redirected them, like an idiot. A well-meaning, guilt-ridden idiot with a martyr complex and terrible impulse control. And you know what? The whole thing suddenly felt like a metaphor for my life. Someone gives me something nice, and I immediately think, surely someone else deserves this more. Like I'm emotionally allergic to being treated well. So now here I am. No chocolates, a furious father, and the unsettling realization that I may have just tanked my one annual chance at affection because I wanted to be the nice one. Honestly, I'd rather he'd just forgotten my birthday again. Would have been less emotionally draining. And then it happens. That moment you always see in films, but never expect to live yourself. We both freeze. Like we've just activated some kind of emotional tripwire. 1 minute, it's guilt-flavored small talk. Next minute, it's psychological warfare over cocoa solids. I'm there, clutching my phone like it's a live grenade, silently begging it to drop signal or catch fire, whichever's quicker. Meanwhile, on the other end, my dad's doing this weird wheezy breathing, like he's just discovered I not only gave away the chocolates, but also recycled the box without properly rinsing it. We're both suspended in this awkward, chocolate-fueled Cold War, not speaking, not breathing, just spiritually combusting. And in that exact, painful silence, a single, horrible truth lands in my brain like a pigeon doing a tactical dump on your forehead. I am now officially the disappointment child, which, to be fair, isn't exactly new information. I've had a lifetime membership to the Disappointment Club, badge, t-shirt, punch card, the works. But this was the deluxe edition, the one with extra features. Bonus footage of my father's soul leaving his body. Like, there's the forgot to call dad on his birthday level of disappointment. Then there's the gave away his heartfelt birthday, gift like it was a half-eaten meal deal sandwich tier. And honestly, the silence was worse than shouting. Because shouting at least feels human. British silence of shame, TM? That's just chilling. It's like being put in an emotional fridge and left to marinate in your own poor life choices. And I just stood there, like a human error message, fully frozen, internally buffering. All I could think was, well, this is how the Queen must have felt when Harry moved to California. Eventually, I made a noise. Not a sentence, just one of those weird, nervous throat sounds people make when they're about to lie or spontaneously combust. And I could feel it, that shift. That subtle, barely audible tilt in my dad's breathing that screamed, this one's never going to run the family business. Not that we have one, unless you count passive aggression and emotional avoidance as a cottage industry, in which case, we're bloody booming. Anyway, I wish I could say I rallied, said something clever, apologized, pulled it back. But I didn't. I just stood there, wishing I could melt into the floor. Or better yet, reverse time and keep the bloody chocolates. Or better yet, be adopted by a family that communicates through memes and hugs, instead of gift box guilt and emotional landmines. But no, this is my life. This is my legacy. Disappointment Child T-Mall Premium Edition. Now with bonus guilt. Batteries not included. Emotions sold separately. And that's when it happens. The shift. The click. The right, you've done it now switch flips in his brain. He starts lecturing. Oh, not shouting. No, that would be too merciful. This is worse. This is disappointed parent monologue. The kind where every syllable feels like it's been marinated in passive aggression and slow-baked in shame. I picked those especially for you, he begins. Voice trembling, like he's narrating David Attenborough, The Decline of Parental Hope. I read the reviews. I wanted something nice. There were pralines, for God's sake. Salted caramel. Do you have any idea how long I spent choosing them? And at this point, I'm genuinely considering launching myself out the nearest window. Because let's be clear, this is a man who didn't flinch when I got a nose piercing. Didn't bat an eye when I switched degrees 3 times. I once nearly moved to Milton Keynes, and all he said was, "Bit far, isn't it?" But this betrayal of the birthday cocoa covenant? Unforgivable. He sounds genuinely heartbroken, like he personally foraged the cacao beans himself in some Peruvian jungle, whispering my name into the wind as he harvested them, and I'm stood there, utterly gobsmacked, because I've never seen this man this emotional. He could have walked in on me joining a pyramid scheme cult in Croydon, wearing a ceremonial robe and holding a tambourine, and he'd have just muttered, "Well, don't forget your coat." But this is the hill he's chosen to die on. Chocolates. Flipping chocolates. Honestly, it was like watching a Channel 5 documentary called When Middle-Aged Men Break, The Great Truffle Trauma. And me? I'm just nodding along like some sort of regretful meerkat, trying to remember if I've got any leftover rosé in the fridge, and whether emotional implosion pairs well with Twiglets. I want to defend myself. I do. I want to say, look, I was trying to be kind, generous, selfless even. But all that comes out is this weak little apology that sounds like it's been filtered through 17 layers of crushed self-esteem. He's still going, quoting the ingredients list like it's Shakespeare, infused with Madagascan vanilla, he mutters. Like I personally spat on a national treasure. And all I can think is, this is it. This is my legacy. I've been disowned over a box of artisan chocolates. Imagine telling that story to your therapist. And now I'm in emotional freefall. Like not even the poetic kind where you sit by a window, with a sad playlist and a warm mug. No. This is the full, unhinged kind, cheeks hot, brain screaming, heart doing that pathetic little hiccup thing it does when it's trying to remind you're still technically alive. Cheers for that, biology. Because apparently this wasn't just a box of chocolates. Oh no, that would be far too simple. This was a gesture. A moment of fatherly love, delicately wrapped in gold foil and nestled between layers of tissue paper and unspoken emotional baggage. And I, human binfire that I am, just casually yeeted it into the hands of my younger brother and his sugar-addicted toddler like it was a packet of Percy Pigs someone brought back from M&S. Brilliant. I didn't just give away some truffles. No, I rejected a metaphor. Because of course I did. Why accept affection when you could swat it? Away and spiral into a full-blown guilt coma over cocoa solids and missed emotional cues? Apparently, that box of artisan treats was his love language. And I, with all the grace of a drunk pigeon, stomped all over it in my mental Doc Martens, declaring, "Nah, cheers, but give it to the kid with jam on his face." He was trying. My dad, for once. This man who usually expresses emotion by offering you a cup of tea, without saying anything passive-aggressive, he actually tried. And what did I do? I emotionally face-planted, right into a pile of fancy wrappers and shredded parental connection. It's like discovering that the sad little birthday email from your mum was actually written during a crying fit in the staff. Toilets, only this time. It's pralines and generational trauma. I wish I could say I handled it well, that I turned around and delivered some heartfelt line about seeing the meaning now, or understanding the gesture. But no, I stood there, mouth open, brain buffering, like a bloody NPC in a low-budget soap opera. All I could think was, I've turned a birthday into a psychological crime scene. Meanwhile, in the background, my inner critic is going full Liam Neeson. You had one job, one bloody job. And now I can't even look at a box of chocolates without thinking, I've single-handedly destroyed my father's will to express affection ever again. Top-tier daughter behavior. Really nailing it this year. So I try to do damage control, in which, for me, usually involves a clumsy apology, a weird joke, and hoping they forget everything in 48 hours. Spoiler, they never do. I go, well, I thought it was nice to share. Share. Like some budget Mary Poppins on a rainy Tuesday. I pull out the moral code of CBeebies, as if quoting a lesson from Balamory is going to magically mop up this puddle of intergenerational disappointment. Honestly, what's next? Shall I offer him a sticker chart and a juice box? There's a pause. Not the good kind. Not the, yes, you've changed my mind, child. I now see the beauty of your generosity. Kind. No, this is the, I'm about to emotionally disown you, but I'm British, so I'll do it passive-aggressively kind. He mutters under his breath, but with maximum dramatic weight. Right. Next time I'll just send you a bloody card. And then he hangs up. No goodbye. No love you. Not even the classic awkward throat-clear dads do, when they're secretly still sort of fond of you. Just the emotional subtlety of a dropped piano from a second-floor council flat. And I'm stood there, staring at my phone like it's just delivered a tax audit and a slap in the face at the same time. A bloody card, he says, as if to say, you have forfeit the chocolate. You are unworthy of confectionery. You are now on level 1 of the gift-giving naughty step. In fairness, I probably deserve it. But also, and here's the bit no one talks about, why does everything nice in this family have to turn into a bloody Shakespearean tragedy? It's a box of chocolates, not King Lear. And now I've got this mental image of him, sitting there in his slippers, tragically surrounded by Amazon packaging and parental betrayal, swearing never to emotionally invest in me. Again, unless it comes in the form of a Clinton's voucher and light sarcasm. Brilliant. Absolutely nailed that one. Add it to the list. Overshared my trauma at Christmas? Forgot Mum's birthday and blamed it on my phone being on silent. Turned my dad's heartfelt birthday gesture into the emotional equivalent of an unpaid parking fine? So yeah, I'm doing great. Next year, I'm just requesting socks. That way, when I inevitably ruin everything again, at least no one's crying over a salted caramel. So now I'm just sitting here, giftless, chocolateless, emotionally scorched like a Sunday roast left under the grill during a nervous breakdown. My brother? Thrilled. His kid? Apparently inhaled the truffles like they were cowpole on a school night. 5 stars would eat again. No notes. Meanwhile, my dad's probably somewhere in Suffolk with a biro and a vengeance, rewriting his will, crossing my name out like it's a bad ex and adding a footnote. Do not bequeath anything sentimental to the eldest. Will only regift to minor relatives and emotionally scar the donor. Excellent. I have somehow, against all odds, managed to ruin a birthday by being nice, which is a new level of failure I wasn't emotionally prepared for. Like, how does one even do that? It's a talent, really. I should put it on LinkedIn. Skilled in emotional misfires. Overthinking polite gestures, and turning heartfelt gifts into trauma flashpoints. And what makes it worse, what really twists the knife, is that I didn't even get a bloody chocolate, not one. Not a praline, not a flake of truffle dust. Not even the sad one at the bottom with the dodgy marzipan no one likes. Nope, I got shame, and guilt, and the kind of emotional residue that clings to you like pub. Carpet smell, hard to explain, and even harder to wash off. So yeah, happy bloody birthday to me. No cake, no warm fuzzy feelings. Just a father-shaped emotional crater, and the ghost of a very fancy chocolate box that will now haunt all future birthdays like the world's poshest poltergeist. I've learned my lesson, though. Next time, I'm lying. Straight up. Oh, the chocolates? Divine. Ate them in a bubble bath while listening to Enya and contemplating my blessings. Because clearly honesty is for mugs.